is Marco Chiandetti. The piece is called "Boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Who shall say where one ends and where the other begins?" The piece consists of 3 large sculptures. The sculptures are living environments. They are actually bird aviaries, so they contain sort of sculptural environments and live birds. The reason why I wanted to make a project with birds was that birds have a sort of a very special place in the imagination of human beings. And so I think across many cultures, birds have represented something very specific to people. I was interested in how in some cultures birds are very much closely associated with death. You know, they are seen as carriers of spirits from this life into the afterworld or into the afterlife. And it's really there that I wanted to locate the work, in this kind of slightly spiritual territory. And that's really sort of one reading of the work. The other reading of the work is it has a sort of a very political undertone, and that is why I chose a very specific bird for this project, and these are Indian miners, because they are highly invasive species and they're not native to Australia. When I started researching, it was at the time that the refugee crisis was exploding across the media, and I very subtly wanted to make a piece of work which talked about this situation. It was an interesting way by using a non-native bird, it was an interesting way for me to try and address this situation. And so within the work, within the whole piece, there is a negotiation between what is native and what is not native. So the aviaries and everything that's in the aviaries are built from native timbers, native grasses. Everything is from Australia. The soil is from Australia. The only thing that isn't native is the bird. And so there's this little tension all the way with this idea of, you know, what is from here and what is not from here, which I think the implications of that are a lot larger because of Australia being a colonized country, and this is obviously this is very deep within its history. So, as I was saying, there's sort of 2 readings to the work. There's one of more sort of spiritual side reading to the work, and then there's sort of political side to the work. From the spiritual side, I'm sort of coming from a sort of Christian philosophy of the idea that in death the body goes back to nature, and this sort of links up to the piece being made specifically for this venue, which is a mortuary station. And so there are sculptural elements which are cast from the body. They are fragments of the body, and then they're cast in birdseed. So the sculptures are consumed by the birds, and either seed that falls to the ground or seed that passes through the bird will then germinate in the substrata of the aviary, and then new life comes forth. So there's this sort of idea within the work of a sort of cycle of life and how our bodies are within a kind of cycle, you know. We come from the earth and we sort of go back to the earth. And, so the seed sculptures are this sort of potential of new life.